Ahoy there folks, I'm Captain Benzie and welcome back to a somewhat different video for EVE Online. In today's video I'm going to be breaking the mold, and instead of talking about a particular ship, module, some type of content, instead I'm going to be talking about a specific corporation in EVE Online and the absolutely phenomenal work they do. Now, of course, I'm biased. This is a wormhole-centric corporation, and I did used to fly with them. That said, I do think that everyone should have an understanding of who these folks are and what they do in the game. So by the end of this video, you should know who Eve Scout Rescue are, who Signal Cartel are, what work they do in-game, how you can benefit, how you can support them, and how you can even fly with them if this kind of effort in-game sounds like something that you want to be a part of. Now, before we go any further, no one in Signal Cartel has reached out to me about this. I've not spoken to them about it, so if anyone from Signal Cartel is watching and I've got something wrong, please don't shout at me. I also don't normally do corporation exposés as a video type because there's so much politics that can be involved here. I'm merely showcasing these guys because I think the work they do is absolutely incredible. Now, if you do enjoy this video, please let me know, hit like, drop a comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That really helps me out by basically saying to YouTube, hey, this guy's got good content, show it to more people. If you want to go the extra mile to help support me and the content I produce, I do have a Patreon page and a PayPal tip jar that you can support financially, and if you're new to EVE Online, click my referral link to get 1 million free skill points. That'll also give me a small kickback too. Finally, if you are fairly new to EVE Online and you're looking to have a load of questions answered, check the Signal Academy playlist out. There's a load of topics there designed to help new players uncover different aspects of the EVE Online experience. Come join the Signal community Discord, linked in the description below. And because we're talking about an exploration-based corporation, it would behoove me to say, yes, you guys can go and join the Signal Cartel Discord, which I'll link down there as well. Brilliant bunch of folks there who will help you out with all kinds of stuff related to exploration and wormholes. Anyway, enough of the preamble. Let's jump right into talking about Signal Cartel, Eve Scout Rescue, who they are, and what they do. So who are Signal Cartel? Well, Signal Cartel are a group of peaceful explorers led by Say and the team. Now, Say is a name that many people in EVE should be familiar with, but if you're fairly new to the game and you don't know who this is, essentially Say was the first capsuleer to explore every single system in EVE Online. That is, every single system in both K-Space and J-Space. Every wormhole, every system, high-sec, low-sec, null-sec, explored by Cartier in one ship. Not a single ship loss over a 9-year period. There's also a monument to Say in-game as well, which you can visit, and it is absolutely beautiful and a full-on statue just celebrating the sheer awesomeness that is that epic journey. But who are the corporation behind that? Signal Cartel themselves are a bunch of peaceful explorers. They do have some rules and regulations if you're considering joining them, which makes sense for who they are. It should be noted straight up front, Signal Cartel do not actively engage in PvP. They do not ever shoot first. They'll defend themselves, but they never go on the aggression. You'll never find these guys in faction warfare. You'll find them much more just going around through space, exploring and doing what they do best, which is living a peaceful life, trying to assist other players. Now here, if we look at the Signal Cartel website, there's a load of information about the corporation here. There are ways that you can join them. You can find their Discord on here as well, if they're the kind of group that sounds right up your street. They really were for me for the longest time. I do miss flying with these guys still to this day, so big shout out to Cartier, to Tamio, to the rest of the team out there. I'm sure I'll see you in space soon. But what I do want to draw your attention to is the services panel here. Now, some of this is Signal Cartel, some of this is Eve Scout in general. We're going to start with the Signal Cartel stuff. First of all, Thera connections. Now, Thera is a humongous system in J-Space. It is one of the biggest systems in the game. It has 4 Sisters of Eve stations in it, some epicenters and some other bits and pieces going on as well. It is well worth exploring, and I did actually do a lore video looking at Thera and what was going on there. So if you're interested, I'll try to remember to put a card on screen now, or you can just search my channel for Captain Benzie Thera, and it'll tell you all about that. Now, Thera, as a system, has dozens upon dozens of wormhole connections. This means as a wormholer, you can use Thera as an excellent base of operations because it's got stations you can dock at and even a somewhat rudimentary market going on there. But even for K-space-based players, people who just live in high-sec, null-sec, and low-sec, you can use Thera as a shortcut between sectors. Imagine you want to go from A to B, and that journey would normally be 40 or 50 jumps. Well, if you can find a good Thera connection, you might find that that shortens it. Like from your home system, you might have a Thera connection 4 jumps away. You jump into Thera, you jump across Thera to another wormhole, and then you come out 3 jumps away from your destination. You've done 7 jumps instead of 40 odd. That is a brilliant tool there. And as someone who used to live in Thera, this is incredibly useful because it allows you to essentially use Thera as a base of operations, go and explore K-space and J-space because you've got all these different connections you can go around, find loads of different content and go exploring. Now, if you're using Pathfinder or Tripwire, there are ways to actually add in the bookmarks for the Thera connections as well, so you can have them directly in-game. But if you just want to browse what is available to you, here it is now. And since the launch of the Havoc expansion, and now that Zarzak is a thing, they also map connections to Turner, which is one of the ways into Zarzak. So they're doing this as a service, completely free of charge. No one pays for this. You can just donate ISK in-game to help people find this kind of content. So imagine you're looking for Thera. You're based in Jita. You can see your closest Thera connection to Jita is currently in Dragul. So you can jump in there. Lifetime is less than 14 hours left, so you've got plenty of time to get in there. And then you can look for, say you wanted to go from Jita to, let's just have a look at, oh goodness gracious me, I cannot think of a name for a system now. Was it P7 in cache? I can't honestly remember. Though you can search for a different system here. Instead of Jita, let's now look at Amar, because I can't think of the one I actually wanted to check, and we will refresh the system. You can see there is a couple from Amar, 4 jumps away here. So you could go 10 jumps from Jita, possibly avoiding some of the bigger sectors like Tama and Suzeraento that are more PvP. Jump into Thera, jump across, and then come out merely 4 jumps from Amar. Or we could go anywhere else in space. Come on, Benzi, you've got thousands of systems to choose from, and all you can think of is the major trade hubs. Yeah, you can see these are a little bit further away, and so may not be worth the time and effort to get to. But if you wanted to go to Istadard, we can have a look at that and see if there are any connections nearby. Not particularly. So you can use this as a shortcut in certain situations, but it does require just a little bit of digging to see your different routes. And here we can see where our closest connections to Turner are, from some of these as well. So there's all kinds of information we can use here. If you're based in the drone regions, Eve Scout also operate a storm track, where essentially they will map where there are different storms available across the drone regions. So if you come to this section of the Eve Scout website, you can see we have all of the different regions here and where the storms have been detected. We've got information on what these storms are, where they're currently moving to, who's been reporting that, how long they've been there, so you've got an idea of how long they've got left, this kind of thing. I'm not going to go too much into storms because it is a very niche aspect of purely the drone lands, but if you are drone lands based and you want to know where the storms are moving to, this is kind of your weather forecast here, so you can see all of this information. Whilst we're on the Eve Scout site as well, it's worth just talking about who these guys are and what they actually do. So if we go onto the Eve Scout Rescue homepage, you'll see they have 2 main things that these folks offer, and these are both incredible. First of all, we have the Rescue Cache system. Anchored throughout Anoikis, it says, our rescue caches contain a probe launcher, core scanner probes, and even a hug or 2. Perfect if you have a fitting service or just need probes. Essentially, if you're carrying a mobile depot with you and you haven't fit a scanner, you've left your scanner behind, or you just have run out of probes because you've lost those in a system where you've had to jump out from PvP or something, and you're now stuck in J-space, you can look for a rescue cache in a system, warp to it, and then loot what you need there. This is a free service. Again, no one expects a payment for this. They do request donations to kind of help keep Eve Scout running. But no, this is just a free-for-all service. If you spot a rescue cache in a wormhole and you don't need it, please leave it alone. leave it there for other people who do need it. Obviously, there is a lot of time and energy spent by the guys in Eve Scout going out and actually dropping these rescue caches in system for players to use. So you can see this is a great little service for those folks who have just managed to get themselves trapped in J-Space because we've all done it at least once. They forgot to bookmark the exit, or the exit got rolled off behind them, which does also happen. The second thing that they do is search and rescue, which is if you don't have a rescue cache in the current wormhole system, or if you've not got a mobile depot in order to refit, that kind of thing, their search and rescue pilots will work hard to find you and scout you back to known space. You come to this page, we hit onto Rescue 911, and this will give you the full details of what you need to do. Essentially, you can log in with your EVE Online account, you leave them a message, and they will contact you and find your ship. It can be a very slow service. Wormholes are notoriously difficult to actually locate a very specific or particular one, so don't expect this to be a couple of hours. Sometimes this can be multiple days. So if you've got a big, expensive ship and you're stranded in a wormhole, essentially they're asking you to log out, give them the details. They will then, as soon as they flag that wormhole and see it, contact you, scan down an exit, and help you back out of J-Space. I know numerous people who have had this happen to them, have contacted Signal Cartel, Eve Scout Rescue, and have successfully got their ship back out of there. It is one heck of a service, and I cannot honestly praise them enough for offering this. So many people I know have benefited dramatically. As something a little bit different, Signal Cartel also offer what they call Expedition Triptiks. These are little mini self-guided tours around New Eden that help introduce you to several key sites in the game and access some of the lore available. This is just a fantastic... I should really do some videos on this. This is a fantastic little resource that just allows you to kind of have a look at some of the stuff available in the game, see what's going on with it, learn more about the EVE Online experience, and just, there's some really, really cool stuff here. Like, there's some of the really obvious stuff, like the Eve Gate Expedition, which is a pilgrimage I think every capsuleer should take, and I have done a full video on the Eve Gate itself, as has Cartier Say, some fantastic videos on that YouTube as well. I should link to that in the description as well. Even a ship wash available for people to fly out to and get their ship cleaned. There's the Cartier Say Memorial that I was talking about in the home system of Sisio. There's all kinds of stuff here that you can experience. The Eternal Rest at the Capsuleer Cemetery in Malaya. Oh man, so much good stuff here. If you get bored in the game and just want to go exploring and learn some more about the lore of the game and what's available, this is an excellent resource, and I do strongly recommend actually heading off to some of these as well. A lot of you have asked where I get my overview from in EVE Online. And the trick is that I don't actually use a personalized overview. I just use the Signal Cartel one, because for me, as someone who's into exploration, wormholes, and ratting, it's perfect. It does everything I would ever need it to and more. And if you're looking at my overview in-game and thinking, how do I get that? Well, Signal Cartel actually has this full breakdown on exactly how you do this. I will put a link directly to this in the description of this video, so you can click on that, follow these instructions. We've got lovely little videos here that show you how to export your current overview settings so that you can go back to it if you prefer it to the Signal Cartel one, and then how to do it. And this is done in-game. Make sure that you do this in order. It'll then teach you how to play with this, how different things work in it. I love this overview so much. It is honestly one of my favorite overviews to use in EVE Online, and I think it is just absolutely fantastic for anyone who is involved in exploration and wormholes in general. Now, at this point in the video, I want to talk about how you can help these folks. They've done all of this work to help capsuleers like you and I get a better experience in EVE Online. How can we give something back to them? And there are essentially three different ways. One of them is super easy, one of them's a little bit more involved, one of them is if you really want to get involved in this, you're passionate about this mission and the projects that they are running. So the first thing you can do is to leave the caches alone if you don't need them. As it says here, if you agree that no one should be stranded inside a wormhole due to server problems or socket disconnects, please support this initiative by not destroying any rescue caches you find in wormhole space. We sincerely thank you for your cooperation. If you spot an Eve Scout rescue cache in your system and you don't need it, leave it alone. Leave it there for someone who does need it. This is kind of almost like, it makes me think of those tip jars that you get at the counter at like service stations and gas stations, where people leave their change in there so that if someone else needs a few cents or pence or whatever just to top up their purchase, they can do it. It's kind of this pay it forward mechanic, and I really like this. So if you do spot a Signal Cartel or Eve Scout rescue cache in a system and you don't need it, leave it alone. The second thing you can do is to send them a tip. This is essentially how Eve Scout actually support their own pilots. They pay them from donations. So how do you actually do this? Well, let's jump into game and I'll show you. Donating ISK to Signal Cartel is actually surprisingly straightforward and simple. All we need to do is come up to the search for anything box in the top left here, we type in Signal Cartel, like so, hit enter, and you will get this pop up here, your search results. We're going to go into corporations, right click on Signal Cartel and go to give money. It's really this simple. At this point, you then go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Donate however much you want to donate. I'm going to donate $1 billion to them here because I really believe in these guys and their project. I'm going to put ESR as the reason. Eve Scout Rescue. You could also just put rescue. This is how they know that it's a donation and not just, you know, whoops, I accidentally sent some money. And then we hit OK, and you'll see that that comes out of your account and goes straight into theirs instead. That is how you donate to Signal Cartel. If you have any spare ISK at all, it doesn't need to be billions. A couple of million here and there really goes a long way to help keep these folks flying and doing these incredible services. And the final thing that you can do to help support Eve Scout and Signal Cartel is to join them. If this sounds like the kind of corporation and project that you would like to actively be involved in, then join them. Basically, you check out their credo, which I will show you in just a second, and then join their Discord, where you can make an application and explain why you want to fly with these folks, why you want to be a part of this initiative and fly with this organization. It says here, is helping other capsuleers of more interest to you than blowing them up. Want to be part of an active exploration corp filled with neutral non-aggressors? If this sounds like a good fit for you, check out our credo and consider joining us. Now, before I go into this as well, if you are running a corporation and you are in any way involved in wormholes, it is worth, in my opinion, I don't know if Signal Cartel will agree to this, but it's what we've done in Catskull, and I know what several other wormhole corporations have done as well. It's worth going into your corporation settings or asking your corporation leader, your CEO, to go into the settings and set Signal Cartel and Eve Scout Rescue to blue. You want these guys to have big standings with your corporation. That means that when you see a Signal Cartel person flying through a wormhole, you see them as friendly, you don't accidentally shoot them. Shooting Signal Cartel, in my opinion, is one of the biggest crimes a wormholer can commit, and I do know of several wormholing corporations who have shot Signal Cartel pilots purposefully, actually being evicted from wormhole space because we don't want that. These guys do incredible work. Don't shoot them. Don't shoot them. There are enough pirates out there going after them that the people who benefit from their work, we really shouldn't be making it harder for them. But, okay, so you're thinking of joining Signal Cartel. Let's have a look at their credo. If we click on this link, it'll bring up their credo here and tell you what they are about and why you might want to join them. And you need to make sure that they essentially... It's not just that you fit with Signal Cartel, it's very much that Signal Cartel needs to fit with you as well, because there are going to be things that you might want to do in-game that aren't going to work because of that. It says here that Signal Cartel is a service corporation to all of New Eden. In this role, members are encouraged to treat all players with respect, regardless of affiliation. In challenging situations, our goal is to look for a graceful resolution and set an example of dignity and friendship through our actions. We embrace the attitude of a true explorer. We're friendly to others in our travels, neutral and never initiating aggression, and endeavoring at all times to be perceived by the New Eden community as a non-threat. Although we never intentionally seek to harm, we may defend our friends and our ships. In suffering losses, we respond with good cheer and shed no tears. In this way, we aim to be recognized and respected by all across the cluster and left in peace to do our work. Among our own ranks and with others, we're patient and generous with knowledge, ideas, and experiences. We foster a mentoring culture by answering questions, freely sharing experience and learning resources, and when possible, offering rookies one-on-one tutoring. And they were fantastic with me with this. Absolutely, they taught me so much about exploration and how to get ahead in this aspect of the game. So again, huge shout out to folks like Priest Nari, Tamio, Cartier himself, all of that. just for, you know, the support that I got as a new explorer. I wouldn't be in J-Space if it weren't for these guys actually supporting me and helping me with that. As for this never intentionally seeking to harm and be recognized and respected by all the cluster and left in peace to do our work, I cannot tell you how many times when I was flying with Signal Cartel that I got caught in like an interdiction gate camp and literally the person would go, "Oh, you're Signal Cartel. Hang on, let me unlock you. Good luck, happy sailing." Like, not everyone is going to do that. I'm not going to say, "Hey, join Signal Cartel, you won't get shot at." Yeah, you do get shot at. There was one guy in Thera with a broadsword who got my pacifier like 3 or 4 times because I was an idiot and forgot that interdiction nullifiers were a thing. But there are going to be people who will look at the fact that you're in Signal Cartel and actually say, "Hey, you do good work, keep it up, off you go." And that happened more times than not, to be fair. So it tells you all about the credo here and essentially what this all means. I'm not going to read through it all. If you're interested in joining Signal Cartel, do read through this and make sure that they fit with what you want in regards to a corporation, not just that you fit them, if that makes sense. You're going to be flying with these folks. You want to know that the game is going to be enjoyable. If you're big into faction warfare or flying with Bomber's Bar or someone like Spectre Fleet, Signal Cartel's not going to be for you. It's really not going to be for you. If you're really interested in exploration and you want to live a peaceful life helping other players, these guys might be the folks that you want to fly with. Bear it in mind. Bear it in mind. Consider donating. Consider joining them if you want to. They are fantastic people. I cannot wax lyrical enough about these folks. And hopefully this 20-minute long video, 25-minute, however long it is at this point in time, should explain that. So as we reach the end of this video, first of all, to you, the viewer, thank you for watching and giving me the time to talk about Signal Cartel. I think they do fantastic work. I think if you can support them, you really should. And if you do want to join them, they are well worth the application. They are fantastic. I do miss flying with these folks so much. And Signal Cartel, if any of you are watching, again, thank you for all the experience and advice you've given me over the years. I still maintain contact with Signal Cartel and still ask them questions about exploration and how this works or how that works. They're brilliant. They are absolutely brilliant. So thank you for everything that you do. Hopefully a video like this is just my little way of showing some appreciation for an awesome group of pilots. Keep it up. Keep it up. You do fantastic work, and I look forward to seeing you in space soon. Happy sailing to you all, and see you in New Eden.